Welcome back. Good to see you. One of my favorite phrases from the recovery movement. I don't think I'd ever heard it before. Coming into that particular realm was sometimes you got to act your way into better thinking. Sometimes you have to act your way into better thinking. Huh. When I heard that, it was kind of like being hit in the forehead with an arrow. It's kind of like a doing, because you know, I'd always been sort of convinced of this continuum of creation that, it's like this circle. You think something, you add some feeling to it, and then you act on it. And then you get a result, and your result affects what you think. And then that affects more of what you feel. And then that affects more of what you do. And it's this beautiful cycle, if you will, of creation. And as true as that is, what happens if we find ourselves in a cycle of a negative creation? Because it's certainly quite possible to do that. That's a cycle, and it's going that way. Now, when you get a nice cycle of my thinking leads to my feeling, leads to my action, leads to better thinking, better. But what happens when we're in a tape loop, a feedback loop of negativity? Well, almost everybody that staggers into recovery in some form or another generally doesn't stagger in on a wonderful day. Things aren't going, how shall we say, swimmingly. So, what we're counseled to do is to be, sometimes we very much have to act our way into better thinking, meaning our best thinking got us into trouble. That is a daunting thought, isn't it? My best thinking got me into this, how shall we say, quagmire. And if I keep thinking this way, and I keep feeling this way, and I keep acting on that, it's only going to get worse. And there actually is no lower limit to how bad it can get. So some crusty old person will come and poke you and they'll say, hey, newcomer, you're going to have to act your way into better thinking, which means you think one thing and you do another. Now, that's a radical thing, and it really requires, it's quite jolting and stunning. It's like, I don't want to go to a meeting, but you go to a meeting. I think that it would be better not to work out right now and sit on my couch and eat Cheetos and watch Netflix until I drowned in Cheeto dust. But instead, you get your A double asterisks up and you go to work out. You think it's a great idea to yell at your coworker, or here's a better idea. You think it's a good idea to fight with your spouse, but then you act your way differently. You listen and are compassionate, or you pause when agitated. And so this unusual notion of acting your way into better thinking is a wonderful thing. Now, it's also can be very difficult because you're up against a great tide of thinking and feeling, but this is the plane of action. There are other realms in this universe where thinking does the trick. You can think realities. A thought will, the wave of a hand of a mental thought will create a new universe. And if you think that's crazy, that's fine, but it's true. But for now, Greg's being pragmatic and practical. This is the realm of thought, and has been said all week long. We do what we really believe, and we do what we really want. It's what we follow up with our belief, because if it was just thinking, nothing would ever happen on earth. Imagine for a moment everybody just sitting around thinking all the time. Well, the whole world would collapse almost instantly. This is the plane of action, and if everything is going great, your cycle of creation begins with a really good and inspired thought, and that leads to a wonderful feeling and motive inside of you that has you acting in the most beneficial, optimized, and prudent, practical, and wonderful ways. Yeah, but that may not be the case because we're not quite perfect beings yet. And this day we might find ourselves at a number of crossroads where which thought are we going to act upon? And sometimes we have to act our way into better thinking, and better feeling. And when we do, it's amazing how instantaneous that is. Instead of sitting home feeling sorry for myself, I'll go to one of them spiritual meetings. Or instead of just thinking around about fear and worry and financial insecurity, I'll do something and then I instantly feel better. But it sure is easy to forget that I oftentimes have to act my way into better thinking. So, what do you think? We get to visit tomorrow. It's Valentine's Day, which I think is a wonderful idea, and we can act out our love for one another by showing up and chatting. Anyway, have a beautiful day. See you.